If you move into a new house, there's one thing you should never, and I mean never, forget to check. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what this one thing is, but that's the title of this 1C Entertainment horror animation called When You Move Out to the New House, don't forget to check this one thing. Now I really want to know what this one thing is, and we're gonna find out by reacting to this video. Before I do that though, make sure you leave a like right now. We're gonna go for 10,000 likes. 10,000. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on post notifications as well so you don't miss any future videos. Now let's get right into it. What could it be?
This is the story that happened to me a few years ago.
Before you had lenses?
I was studying for the civil service examination.
That's it. Don't forget to check the civil service examination to study for it. Don't forget to study for that. No, I don't think that's it either. You're right.
I came up to the big city to study, and while I was looking for the house to stay,
Those are nice
I met
houses.
one house owner. The middle-aged lady was so kind, and the rent price of the room was extremely cheap.
Okay, she was extremely nice and it was extremely cheap. There's one thing, it's called too good to be true. Which means if something is too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
In comparison with the price at that time. All of my friends opposed and said the price is too cheap.
See,
They
his
also
friends
told me
are
to
smart.
reconsider it, but my mind was urgent, so I just made a
Stupid.
contract right away.
He's stupid. Wanna bet he didn't even read that contract? Guess what that contract says? I get to kill you whenever I want. And I'm not saying that. I mean, that's what the contract says. So that's probably what the middle-aged lady is gonna do to him. I don't trust her. Her face, her smile, cheap rent. Nobody rents out a house for cheap, for no reason.
The room was pretty big, and the window was also wide enough so that I was satisfied with my room. But a few days later, a strange smell began to come up from under my bed.
Uh-oh, is that the smell of a corpse?
I feel like there's the smell of a corpse.
Also, I just realized he's renting a room. So he's not renting the whole house. So who's living in that house with him? Is it just him and the old lady? Or are there other students? What if the smell is the corpse of an old student that used to rent his room? Oh no!
At first, it was endurable, but the odor was getting worse, so I couldn't sleep at all in my
Dude,
bed. I
you don't
eventually begged the owner and ended up moving to the next room, which was far away from this room.
Are you not curious to know what that smell came from? Okay, so she has multiple rooms. So what is she keeping in the other rooms? Is it more students or is it tools of murder?
Since that day, whoever moves to that room, they all moved out again because of the smell.
What is the
A
smell?
few people visited in a few days, and I heard the conversation between those people and the owner while they were taking out all the stuff and removed the wallpapers in the room.
What?
Ma'am, we had told you that it would stink. If you'd have done what we said last time, well, you'd have spent less money. And then she answered embarrassedly, I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Wait, so whoever she's talking to knows what the cause of the smell is. So it can't be a corpse. Or maybe she's just trying to hide one. And I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the homeowner isn't such a bad woman. Maybe she's not bad. Maybe it's just a red herring. But we'll figure that out.
They then began to remove the floor, change the cement, and finally changed the whole room completely.
Huh?
Until then, I thought we were just remodeling the house. But after I heard the story of the room from the other people who lived around
What?
here, I eventually realized that I was totally wrong.
What
It is
what
said
happened?
that a few months ago, one student committed suicide in the room. And the owner
What?
at that time, she ignored the cleaning company's word that she had to reapply the cement to remove the smell that had seeped into the floor.
So it really was the smell of a corpse. So I wasn't wrong about that. But wait, this is a horror story. And remember what the title is. The title of this horror story is When You Move Out of the New House, Don't Forget to Check This One Thing. And we still don't know what that one thing is. What could it be?
So she just chose wiping off the blood of the body by reason that it was expensive.
What? She didn't even use any
The cement
cleaner?
looks hard just by looking at it. But because of the porosity, it's known that the cement has lots of small holes like sponges.
Makes sense, SpongeBob.
But what if someone was murdered or the dead body was left unattended for a few days?
What?
When the blood or such thing flows downwards, it starts to rot inside and then stinks. In addition, if the dead body is left unattended for a few days, the waste begins to come out and the fat flows out when it starts to decay.
I didn't...
Like the blood and the waste are hard to clean, as you know.
I thought this was a horror story. I don't need to know any of these things. Why are you telling me this? This is not science class or morbid curiosity class, whatever you want to call it. Just tell me what the one thing is I'm supposed to check. Or is that it? Am I supposed to check if the corpse that's in my other room hasn't rotted and has seeped into the cement? Is that the one thing I have to check? Because I feel like not a lot of people can relate to that.
As soon as the smell penetrates through the concrete hole, you would not be able to get rid of the bad smell no matter what you do. Therefore, it's said that cement should be removed altogether.
How is this a horror
because
story?
the smell would not be gone of this kind of house. Although I wasn't staying in that room at that time, I kept feeling uncomfortable, so I eventually ended up moving a while later.
I get it. Smart.
I would like to say this to those who are currently looking for the new house. Even if a newly plastered house smells, or if you found any signs of partially cement floor, especially when the house is old, be careful. Because I'm sure that something would have happened in that house already.
What? I'm confused. That story confused me. How is that a horror story? You know what? Let's give this animation its props. That was a realistic horror story. It was something that could actually happen. There wasn't a monster, a serial killer, or any of that stuff. It was just something creepy and sad. And hey, guess what? Turns out the homeowner, you know, the one nice lady, she wasn't that bad. She was just cheap, which isn't a crime. I'm cheap. Next up, another horror animation by 1C Entertainment called Something Was Happening in My House. So this is also home themed. Let's see what the hell was happening in my house.
This happened over 25 years ago.
Oh,
but the memories are
a vintage
still
story.
fresh on my mind. I moved in with my boyfriend, who was a musician, and
okay.
I wasn't working at the time.
So if he's a musician, how are you guys affording this house? Exactly.
Our budget was small, so when we were offered super cheap rent for a house, we jumped at the opportunity.
Hey, you know what they say? Goedkoop is duurkoop. Subtitles. I don't know how I don't know what the saying is in English. Y'all gonna just have to deal with the subtitles. I hope my editor knows. Anyways, as I was saying, if something's too cheap to be true, then it probably is too cheap to be true. Or something like that. Yeah.
It should have been a red flag at the time,
See?
but we were in no position to refuse.
I'm telling you. There's
It
a
was far
reason
from
why
the
it's so
city
cheap.
center. We had almost no furniture and lived quite the frugal life.
Cheap.
But we were happy to have our own space. The house was simple but cozy and nice.
It looks pretty nice. It looks pretty big as well. Away from the city, so I can imagine if you don't like, you know, the noise of the city and all that, you would prefer living here.
And there was another room in the backyard with no windows,
A
but
shack?
only a chair right in the middle of it. Needless to say, it was super creepy, so I avoided that part of the house.
What? If it's your house now, so why didn't you just get rid of the chair, put some nice, I don't know, paintings in there, put in a light bulb, and guess what? Suddenly it's not scary anymore.
While my boyfriend was working all day in a music school, I took care of the house.
Oh, he's a teacher.
In the beginning, everything was fine. I felt happy there. But after a few weeks, weird things started happening.
Of course.
One day, I put some of the cans and ingredients on the kitchen table while I was cooking. However, when I turned around to grab them, they weren't there. At first, I just thought that I had forgotten to pick them up from the shelves.
I know what's happening. It's a Toy Story spin-off called Can Story.
But when cans and knives started showing up in random places in the house, like the bedroom, I started paying more attention.
Started paying more attention? I mean, at that point, you should realize
Something is terribly going wrong.
something is wrong with that house. Or at least, maybe you guys have a stalker or something like that. Because a kitchen knife of that size doesn't just end up on your bed for no reason.
My boyfriend also experienced the same things, and whenever he found the missing items, he just laughed about it.
Yeah, y'all should
However,
move.
things started to change and took a turn for the worse when
what
we
does it have to
decided
do with the
to
shed?
clean the backyard. We cut the grass, threw away the trash, and decided to move the chair in the middle of the room. So my boyfriend picked it
Oh,
up
no.
and left it in front of the house to be collected. He told me that he felt sick the moment he entered that room.
Oh, he got
I
cursed.
thought he was overreacting,
Don't
but
go in
when I
there.
entered it, I immediately felt a heavy weight on my chest and a piercing headache. However, everything would be fine again once we left that area.
It's cursed.
It was scary, so we went to a local church, got some holy water and salt from the priest, and cleaned the room. We thought that everything would be okay now.
Did that work?
My boyfriend had to leave for work.
Hold on. So they went to a church, they got holy water, salt, and they put it in a room. They believe that there's something paranormal going on in that room. So they know. It could be a ghost, could be a curse, could be whatever. So they know. Okay.
And I continued cleaning inside the house. But I didn't feel calm and perky as I usually did, because I constantly had the feeling that someone was watching me.
Yeah, whatever was in there
I even
escaped.
checked the doors and windows to see if there was anyone around, but no one was there. And I still felt uncomfortable and was paranoid all day.
Oh, I would be too.
When my boyfriend returned home in the evening, we started hearing noises coming from outside. This area was kind of dangerous.
They live in the middle of nowhere.
So if they need help, they're not gonna be able to get any. Like the cops probably have to drive an hour to get there. Plus, they just heard sounds outside. Nobody lives near them, so what could that sound be?
Especially at night, so my boyfriend was super careful when going outside. He thought that it could be a robbery. Everything was alright, except for the fact that the chair was back inside the room.
The chair?
It was in the same place as before. So he got really mad when he saw it, thinking that some punk was playing a trick on us.
Guys, you literally went to a church and got holy water. So you know that it's not a punk that put that chair there. It's something, ghosts? Obviously.
He went outside and decided to grab the chair, break it, and throw it away.
Bad idea.
But I could see the panic on his face when he couldn't move the chair. For whatever reason, it was completely fixed to the ground. Not like it was glued to the floor, but more like it weighed 10 tons.
More like it was paranormally
No matter
being
how hard he tried,
held down.
it wouldn't move. Because he had to come up with another plan, he ran inside, grabbed holy water and salt.
I feel like you should just close that door, move out. I feel like that's the only solution right here. You're gonna get yourself killed messing with these things. You know, he has a baseball bat. Have you ever heard of a ghost being defeated by a baseball bat? I haven't.
Made a circle around the chair and started praying. Suddenly, we heard a loud bang.
Oh no.
Thousands,
Ew.
maybe millions of cockroaches started coming out of every sewer
Okay, that's
hole
disgusting.
outside of the house.
That's disgusting. Cockroaches
I am
are
terribly
disgusting.
terrified of cockroaches, so I guess this was my worst nightmare. He left the chair and we rushed inside the house. And
No,
after
leave
we
house!
checked everywhere in the house, we locked all the doors and windows, and then ran away to my mom's house.
Smart. Finally.
As the incident happened on a Friday evening, we decided to stay at her house until Sunday to calm down. On Sunday afternoon, we
They went
returned
back?
home and everything felt normal. There were no traces of insects around, and the chair was still in its place, but the house seemed quiet. We started relaxing a bit, and as I had just refilled the fridge on Friday with groceries, I decided to start cooking something nice
They're
for
cool
dinner.
with this?
However, when I opened the fridge,
Cockroaches.
I saw an image I will never forget. All the food was full of maggots, and it was almost
Ew.
completely decomposed.
Well, at least the maggots are having fun. Look at them. They're dancing.
The smell was horrible inside. I have never seen anything like it before. I mean, the fridge was still on and seemed to be working, but the food was
Paranormal.
not frozen.
Paranormal
And
maggots.
this level of decomposition could not be reached in less than 48 hours.
Oh, thanks,
It was the
teacher.
most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I screamed and showed it to my boyfriend, who also couldn't understand what happened. but there was nothing we could do with the food or the fridge.
I mean,
Later, we finally decided to give the house back. And
Can we get some
moved out
applause?
to another city.
finally, they sold the house. They should have done that. They should have never bought the house in the first place. Finally. Okay, so they moved out. What happened then?
And fortunately, I've never experienced anything like that again.
Where's their
But
boyfriend?
that incident still gives me the chills.
Okay, so I feel like what these animations have taught us, once again, say it with me, if something is too good to be true, it probably is. Guys, that's it for today's reactions. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Smash that like button. Murder that like button. Don't go soft on it. And don't forget to subscribe as well and turn on post notifications. And hopefully, I will see all of you next time. Now, don't mind me. I'm going to eat my takeaway. Ooh,